Good morning, afternoon or evening, ladies and gentlemen, Allincrypto here, and welcome back, guys, on this terrific Tuesday for another jam-packed daily market update. We've got a lot to get through. Bitcoin is hanging in there and still, in our opinion, in an uptrend. Anybody that looks at the Bitcoin chart and says that it's in a bear market is factually incorrect. It may be going into a bear market, but it is not over until the lady sings. I'm not even sure we can describe the lady anymore here in Britain without facing persecution. Bitcoin still in an uptrend. We believe that this is just going to be a pullback in broader trend continuation, and we get that from our macro view that the S&P has higher prices ahead of it. I very much agree with what Mike Wilson over at Morgan Stanley is saying, and that is that a new bull market is intact, and he's looking at a combination of earnings, certainly in the lower caps. The fact of the matter is that most companies for the past 3 years have effectively been negative in terms of earnings. There's now a turning up of that and a potentially zealous Fed that is going to try and get in front of the curve, being ahead of the US 2-year yields, and actually support or create an inflationary environment that should also support earnings and stocks, so on and so forth. So that's our opinion of what we've got coming for us in 2026. We also don't think that there's any kind of confirmation of a bear market for crypto broadly. We've got this interesting setup with Bitcoin dominance. We continue to talk about our sort of stance because it's unpopular at the moment, certainly when Bitcoin has been pulling back and crypto more generally in the manner that it has, and the macro market pressures have really, added to that. We looked at a load of S&P data yesterday. We looked at sentiment data, and I think this pullback, which is what it is until proven otherwise, is actually a blessing in disguise. Because often markets need to do that. They need to reset. They need to get retail out before sending it in the broader direction. And I think the general consensus on sort of crypto Twitter right now is that people believe this is a bear market, which we're saying hasn't been technically proved. Could we be going into one? Yes. Let's see what happens and see if our opinion that markets do well, including crypto, which should be a beta of markets, based on the kind of macro picture that we've got ahead of us. Interestingly, looking at gold this morning, gold made all of our targets that we had from sort of 2021, 2022. And for more sort of risk assets, I think this may set up for continuation. And you may see a run for gold in the not too distant future, which may support crypto. Silver, we also think, is going to do some pretty amazing things. And this, of course, setting up very much in a similar manner. This was one of the last targets that we had that's now acting as a key level of significance. I'd say silver actually looks better than gold. Is crypto going to start to recover here on this? Well, we believe so. And the macro markets opened up. One swallow does not a summer make. There's a lot to go on. If you look at this, you can see this is not an adequate recovery. It could turn into one. But there's a lot to still take place. But the macro markets have sort of chirped up a little bit also. And there's still a hell of a lot that needs to be done here. This could be some sort of a megaphone or broadening structure effectively taking place. But we shall see. So good signs yesterday. There's a lot of work that still needs to be done. We'll see. And I think one of the most bullish things, if this does just turn out to be a correction, which I believe it is in a broader uptrend, is just how fast everybody has to then position. People are really going to have to zealously position. And actually, sentiment historically being as low as it has been a great buying opportunity. And that's personally, I bought some more of our stock that we kind of reserved just for Patreon yesterday. It's up 19% yesterday. It's back in the green for us. We've got a generally very positive stock portfolio. Coinbase, you all know I own, and a couple of miners are a couple 100% up for us. But we're still sat pretty and still honestly believe that we've got this great time ahead of us. And this was really interesting. More than 8% of all Bitcoin moved in the last 7 days. The last two times this happened was March 2020 at $5,000 and December 2018 at $500. This makes the latest down draw one of the most significant on-chain events in Bitcoin's history. Obviously, the early days, you can see there's a lot more spiking, but this is simply because there would have been a lot more concentration of Bitcoin. I saw a famous Bitcoin analyst today saying that large holders of Bitcoin selling is a good thing for the network, which is confusing because Bitcoin isn't proof of stake. It makes no difference who holds the Bitcoin, in my opinion. other than perhaps it makes the system a little bit fairer. Perhaps, I guess, if you talk about the network effect of Bitcoin's price going up, maybe you could argue that it makes more people richer. But the reality is, I think Bitcoin has done great things. It's spawned this whole industry, but I don't think it's this freedom thing that people keep propagating it to be. So very interesting. We're getting lots of kind of data like this. This is dollar value of SPXU volume. So huge bets against the SPX, so the S&P 500. On Friday, more than 1 billion of SPXU were transacted. SPXU is a 3x short S&P 500 ETF. Past spikes marked major bottoms. The 19, the event that shall not be named, that they've swept under the rug and we're all told to forget about it. Bottom, 2022 bear market, first wave bottom. October 2022 bear market bottom. April 2025 Liberation Day now. And this would align with the sentiment charts that we've looked at. I honestly think that they've done a great job of getting people out of the cryptocurrency markets before, in our opinion, they're about to break out into new all-time highs and price discovery from a kind of overall market point of view, excluding Bitcoin. This is the total cryptocurrency market cap. This is literally just consolidating at all-time highs. If you get that reassertion that we're very much expecting for the macro, this chart eventually gets to just shy of $7 trillion. It's a cup and handle, which we've obviously been highlighting. This is your base. And this, of course, is your handle. But even on the smaller time frames, I mean, look how this is setting up. It's not the perfect falling wedge, but it's evident. We'll see how today opens up. We do have a Fed meeting in 15 days. The probability that they're going to cut rates, this has shifted. I also like Mike Wilson's take on the Fed kind of at the behest of markets. And it isn't as independent from markets and certainly the government, because one of its mandates is to support the Treasury. It's also to support financial stability. I think markets are in that equation. I'm bullish, guys, on the future. I don't think we're entering this atypical, because this has not been an atypical cycle, bear market, and we continue to put forward the reasons why. And we'll see. Markets, I'm afraid, are all about who's laughing last is laughing the longest. I believe we're going to be laughing. And yes, there's been turbulence, but I think crypto offers this potential once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Who knows? I've still got a while, hopefully, to go. But I don't think any of that's changed, and I think this pullback has really done damage. I think there's been a lot of damaging events. The liquidation event on the 20th of or the 10th of October was one. Interesting, talking about liquidation, South Korea just imposed this. Retail investors' appetite for leveraged exchange-traded funds listed overseas has prompted the national regulators to tighten rules for buyers of these high-risk products. Come December the 15th, local investors will have to complete an hour-long mandatory online training before investing in leveraged or inverse exchange-traded products listed in foreign markets. So I'm kind of a free market guy. I believe in individual liberty and sovereignty. But I also believe in education. And you guys know we don't promote any leverage trading, or we don't promote trading crypto, period, because I think I've watched better men than me fail at it. And then when you get and I do this for a living, and then when you get the kind of retail wave of people, I just know they're not going to make any money. It's a zero-sum game for 98% of retail, probably 99%. Yet it's promoted everywhere. Why is it? It's because these other people don't care about getting you completely wrecked. They only care about making money. And they did very well off the liquidation events that took place on the 10th of October. You won't see a referral link to exchanges from us because we care about you and want you to do well. And we think you're going to do just fine by holding. But of course, make your own opinion up. So we'll see. There's more good, I think, going on right now than bad, despite the price action. Yeah, we remain optimistic. And I think once you get that reassertion, we could talk all day long about the macro picture and what the Fed may or may not do. And Mike Wilson's great to listen to in regards to our macro. We're in line with him. From Morgan Stanley. Mike's made some great decisions. Yeah, okay, he was late to kind of get bullish again. But he called the bottom in 2020. He called the bottom in 2022 but didn't act on it. He thought that there was going to be a kind of next or potential next wave of selling due to liquidity. And he also called, he's made some fantastic calls, and he's long and strong again, and we agree with him on that, and we think that macro picture is what's going to carry crypto being correlated to it. But we shall see. We'll see how things open up. I don't know how the E-mini was doing today, actually. That is something that I'd probably like to have a quick look at. Yep, it's slightly up today, is it? If we go to the daily, slightly marginally. So we'll see how the macro markets open, and we'll see what effectively takes place today. So a lot going on. Hang in there. We remain long and strong. We're ultimately bullish on the space as a whole, certainly fundamentally what it's doing, and we think there's actually a good picture for markets moving forwards, despite the fear, which can actually mark the perfect time to enter the market. If we get through this, I don't really know what I'm going to say to people. Certainly those people that have lost their cool completely during this. Because it's time and time again. I mean, there's been 5 corrections for Bitcoin thus far in the crypto space more broadly. Each one people have lost their head over. And I'm getting to the point now where I'm just, here to give my take, and I actually, it's up to people. It always has been up to people what they choose to do or not to do. But yeah, we'll see. We remain long and strong. That's it from me, guys. I'm going to love and leave you. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you soon.